Welcome, Thursday night in Australia. It is chop time, Tim. How are you?
You've changed the camera on me.
I've got to look this way tonight, not that way.
I'm usually there. I'm there now. It's just, but there is a light, so that's going to help.
We're a chord short, so we're all good. We're in the game. How are you?
Big night, mate. Big night. We've got actually a lot. We're doing our pre-production, just a lazy sort of 6 hours-ish.
Hang on. Who was doing the pre-production?
Well, welcome Kent Cappuccino Cross, by the way.
I task Kappa, and then I go for a run. But we were talking about, we actually had to, for the first time ever, take stuff out.
So we've got a lot
of stuff to go through. So we won't jump into it straight away. But, of course, we've got the chop. We've got some changes happening, of course, next week, which we'll go through in a second. We love feedback. And so we've listened to all of that. And we've shifted a few things. And lots to get through, Greg. So, we do obviously have this overlap with our Coa Sports League race. And this will be the last week that will occur. So our league race, we've been given the old... And we're back 15 minutes to 8 p.m. because AHDR crew, you guys have been around for a lot longer than us guys, and we're going to fit in because that old saying, fit in or no. But anyway, so we're off. So there won't be any overlap after this week. So look forward to that and keep your comments coming through. We're going to put a little bit back on the audience tonight, Greg, because we're trying a couple of different things and we want your feedback. So do give that through. So I'll be on Coa and Greg's on ZCL. Of course, we're on Cycling Australia and Training Peaks as well, Greg.
Just a few people out there watching around the globe. So really good to see. Now, we are going around Richmond. I'm going to not get this right. It is the Fan Flats at Richmond this evening. We're going to do 6 laps, real short lead in here, and then they are into it. And one of the flatter courses around Zwift, so expect there to be over 50 k's an hour for the A-grade bunch, and I'm going to just make this up and say 45 for B, 40 for C, and 35 for D. There you go.
What?
There you go.
Well, that's definitely not happening, but there is a slight little tweak.
Yeah.
Old Timmy Searle's been busy in the background, and he just wants to make it a little bit harder for A-grade.
Giving, Timmy's. Giving all the time. Giving more pain to the A-grade group. They've won too many times of late. So what's he done?
He's added a minute. Right, so we've actually caught up pre-race with Jeff Creel, and we've got Jeff Creel, who is the ride leader of A-grade. He is going to be bottom left on your screen from time to time, and we're going to try and bring that to life over the course of the race because it is a group race, Greg.
Absolutely.
So they've got to work together as a group to eventually get through D, C, and B. That's A, but can C, B and D hold off.
Very well done.
Great.
Now, speaking of D, C, B and A, let's have a look at a couple of the riders that we're going to highlight tonight in the AHDR Chop.
Sounds good.
As always, couple athletes to highlight in the AHDR Chop this evening. First young man, 16 years of age, Tyler Hannay out of the Isle of Man, an absolute new beast to the Zwift world. And young Tyler actually finished in a very commendable third place in the Coa Sports race last week. So an absolute beast of a rider, 700 to 800 kilometres a week of riding going on over the last couple of months for the young man. And he's on debut tonight in the Chop. Watch him for the right at the front of that A-grade freight train. They do have that extra 1 minute handicap this evening, but have no doubt that Jeff will have those athletes absolutely humming and trying to catch B-grade. Good luck to Tyler. And second athlete we're going to highlight is a female athlete by the name of Kath McKay, Australian-based athlete. Couldn't find the right picture for Kath, but he's a funny one anyway. So anyway, Kath's veteran, 67 kilos, 167 kilos, 167 races in Zwift now. Last 10 starts. Picked up a couple of podiums, a second and a third place. She's part of this huge AHDR team, the Juggernaut. Most recently was 7th in the SRAM Sendit Series. So some amazing results coming through. And those SRAM Sendit Series races are absolutely stacked. So some great results coming through there from Kath. She's had a huge progression. I've had a look at Zwift Power. Huge progression over the last 12 months. She'll be fighting it out in that B group. And with that extra minute handicap, they may actually hold off the A-grade chasing pack this evening. So good luck to Tyler and Kath, and we look forward to seeing you guys smash it out there this evening.
Nice job, Greg. Nice job, Greg. I tell you what you're getting really good at, pre-recording.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
It is good.
My garage, my little studio set up beautifully at home.
Just got to work on your tanning studio at home, mate.
Well, look we're on a new camera here tonight live, so that's a little bit better. So we might have to invest in another one of them up the road.
Forgive me, but so essentially, if you are watching for the first time, so D grade, they shoot off at, this is Australian Eastern Standard Time, they shoot off at 7:10, so they're gone. They're 2 minutes up the road already. And then you get a 4 minute back to C grade. We're actually going to be following C grade tonight.
A little bit different.
And A grade. So we're hedging our bets a little bit. We're hedging our bets. We are going to bring the third banana in a few weeks' time. So then you've got another 3 minutes to B grade and then another 3 minutes to A grade. So 10 minutes between the start of D and the start of A. So a 10-minute head start up the road. So, and of course, you can make it interesting at home by bringing in Zwift Power, zwiftpower.com. You can watch it live on there as well. But we've also, of course, got at 7:45 p.m, we've got the start of the Coa Sports League race, which is the last race of Mayhem, so the last race of the month, and it's a absolute logjam on a lot of the leaderboards, and even a few people have got a double mention, Greg.
There's a bit of tidying up to do there. We've got to get the broom out, and thanks to Martin McGavin for coming along and telling us all about that. Now, let's jump down to this paddock as we still continue to have a yip-yap away, so 16 seconds down, and there will be plenty of heat on in this C-grade group, and a little bit of optimism, I would dare say, in the B, C, and D grade groups as A grade. They've caught, while we've been broadcasting this the last few weeks, they've caught the B or C grade group with only seconds to go in the event. So there they go as they roll out and roll over everyone else.
Beautifully.
The person wasn't moving.
Beautifully done there, Kappa. He will roll on through. Don't you love this when this happens? So ANC, he's going to grab someone. Oh, he couldn't quite get it there, Kappa. Quick. That's all right.
I can't find
You can just bring it back to the studio, Kappa, and we'll make it work, mate. We'll just stick with A grade. So isn't that great when that happens? What happened there, Kappa?
The person I clicked on decided they weren't going to start the race.
Oh, really?
That's fantastic.
How good is that? So I think we're going to be covering B and A. Is that right, Kappa? Anyway, there we go.
We'll work it out
as we go. Of course, got A grade here in the paddock as well. So we did actually catch up pre-race with the man himself, Jeff Creel, which we spoke about earlier. And we will jump to him in a second, Greg, because we had a chat to him. It's good to get a bit of an insight as to what the ride leader really experienced on Zwift racing. Goodness gracious me, has he got a career. So let's cue him up while then we maybe go back in the background while it's playing and see if we can't jump on C, but we'll see how we go.
And a big welcome to a man over in the west of Australia, Mr. Jeff Creel. How are you, mate?
Hey, Greg, pretty well yourself, thank you.
Pretty good. So I wanted to have a quick chat with you because the Chop being a very technical event and you being a ride leader in the A category, I wanted to delve in a little bit and just work out what sort of things, and you've got a few things in your studio there set up. So how does the A grade group catch all the other groups most weeks?
Basically going the fastest possible average speed. So I always encourage the guy. I mean, most of these boys know what they're doing. They don't need encouragement, heaps of experience. So it's just to keep them updated with time gaps, those kind of things, and make them aware, possibly who's won previously on the course, today Pan Flats. So we're looking at about 31 kilometers, and we'll be targeting around probably 51, 52 if we can.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a tall order today.
So a little bit of surprise thrown in for you guys for this Thursday with an extra minute handicap, yeah?
Yes, that's nasty. That stinks.
So while the race is evolving, are you on a keyboard or have you got an assistant next to you typing away as you gasp the messages across?
No assistant. I've got a keyboard, but I mostly use my phone. But I keep it, like today, it'll be short and sweet. The guys know me mostly, by now. So I think the main thing is just to sort of not annoy the guys, but they also need to understand it's going to take full efforts. We've all got different FTPs. At the end of the day, it's all about just doing 90% of your maximum heart rate. If everybody sticks to that rule,
you'll be right.
Then we'll be all right. But the problem is sometimes that's challenging, getting everybody's average heart rates up. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, we'll leave you to finish your warm-up, mate, and we'll see you in the paddock very shortly. And a big shout-out, mate, and well done for you doing the Zwift community, and particularly with AHDR.
Yeah, thanks, Co-Sport, and thanks for the support. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and thanks to Jeff, he will be 2 minutes
What
and
a
20
superstar.
seconds out from his rollout. And
B grade, baby.
always rely on the 25-year-old to sort things out. So a little bit of a change in proceedings.
25, Kappa, did you hear He's that? docked me 2 years. That's
Oh,
great.
25, 27, whatever. It's all the same. So well done to Kappa. We are going to follow B grade now. So nothing like a little change on the run. Our C grade rider that we're going to follow decided not to push the pedals. So that's always a bit of an issue when you're trying to fly this through. So welcome to the B grade group, and we'll be following you along. We'll get back to C grade next week on the AHDR Chop.
You might hear something that you haven't heard before on Coa Sports on our sort of coverage, and that is
A new commentator?
We've decided to bring in a little bit of the game noise this time. So I know a lot of people do that, and look, I'm not sure as a viewer. I watch a lot of Zwift stuff, right? And I'm not sure whether I like it. So what I would love is that people are watching Zwift community, wherever you're watching, can you put some comments in and just let us know whether you prefer the game noise, whether it's a bit too loud? Because honestly, we're trying to get better. Every week we try to do this. We try to just make little tweaks, little changes. So do let us know if you like to hear the game noise or not, because the hum at the moment is a bit annoying.
Maybe they won't like.
Maybe they might not even be able to hear it. We'll find out.
Or they might not want to hear from us anymore, and then we're dead. So
We'll find
that'll be the
out.
end of it. So, really, look at this pace here, 51 k's an hour. So as you would have heard from Jeff there, the target for this A-grade group will be to ride at around 51 k's an hour, which is where the B-grade guys are sitting at the moment. So they'll be taking no ground out on this flat section as they start this big race off.
We'll go through some of those B-grade riders because we
Absolutely.
love shout-outs, Greg, while I just focus here on A-grade and rolling out in 30 seconds time.
We've
So
got,
I've got to get my fingers at the ready.
Yeah, if you're having a look there, we've got Mulligan rolling right through to the front of that group. We've got Cole in there, Evans. I saw Melinda Cockshut in there as well, and she's a beast out of Port Macquarie, New South Wales. And Clayton in there, the dirt team. Melanda, another dirt team member. GP, we've got C Day in that group in the pink cap as well. And rolling through to the front is the Note World driver from the roller team. So you'll see them start to roll past some other athletes that are just having a little swan around, looks like this evening. So that is the B grade group there, and a huge pack of riders. And one of the challenging things about this course is to work out which power up is the best and the places to use it. So being a multi-lap event, there'll be plenty of power ups on offer. And with this event, you want to be getting a aero helmet for the finish. I have no doubt about that. This will be a really, really fast racing event. And good to see Birdie in there too, WP Taz. Heaps of those guys always joining every week. And Tim's having a giggle because he's got something funny to say.
No game noise. So that's great. That's why
okay.
we test.
There you go.
So that's not pumping.
Does that mean there's no game noise coming through, or just get rid of it?
Well, all I can say is, Kappa, we can hear it, obviously.
Whoa,
Can
whoa.
we
As they
hear
go
it
over the
indeed,
cobbles.
as they go over the
Right,
cobbles,
we
but
don't
they
want
can't
that.
at home. But that's all right. So that is exactly why we're testing, and that's okay. So that's all right. We'll try and tee it up again next week. But thanks for sending that through, and my volume's low, so we'll quick that up. So interesting stuff here. I'm just casting my eyes here to A grade, which we'll bring in a second. We'll bring up Zwift Live and bring in some time gaps and things like that on Zwift Power, obviously, and give you a bit of a feel, because it looks like Dalton Stretton is in the... Yes, he is. Dalton Stretton is indeed in A grade tonight. Be interesting to see if Dalton jumps across and
He did last week.
see what he does, or he just pushes on through to the end, of course.
Last week, one of the funny, I don't know if it was the Thursday race or the Friday morning race, Dalton Stretton threw a big shot across the bows of the other riders and said, "Come with me if you can."
Did he
and
ever?
20 seconds later, his chain came off.
Did he
His
ever?
derailleur snapped, actually. He sent me a message. So good to see him back on a bike. He might be back on his BMX. Being a young bloke, he's probably hanging out like a tip rat at the skate park still these days with his mates.
Good stuff, Jess. Good. I like the feedback, so can't hear it, but do like it. It makes it feel a little bit real to watch. Don't mind that at all, so keep it coming through. We want the comments coming through, and give Greg a nice big clip on the way through. And at 7:25, so in about 3 minutes' time, we're actually trying something. It's a bit of a surprise. It's a bit of a surprises for everyone. And, yep, we've got something coming through the pipe, so stick around for the next 3 minutes. You won't want to miss it, especially if you're the great man, Tim Searle. You won't want to miss it. He should be nervous. He should be very nervous.
He should be very nervous.
And who should be more nervous is Brooksy.
Yep, Brooksy's going to... Brooksy, there's a double-decker, probably triple-decker bus coming your way. And just a quick shout-out to Jess Hamilton as well. She's joining us every week after week, and in the Coles Sports League as well. And Jess, if you are still watching and can hear us through that road noise, keep your eyes casted at the screen in about 20 minutes for yourself. There's another little surprise coming up the road.
Good on you, Baz. Thanks for tuning in. Basil Kanuji all the way from Dubai. It is, of course, nice and
very
cool at the moment
in Dubai. Jumper on over there in Dubai at the moment.
Yep, nice and cool over in Dubai at the moment. I think when you wake up in the morning, it's about 43 and she cranks to about 57. And you've got to wear a mask when you run. So great training as well. So, of course, we do have that, Tim, as well on Zwift Power Live. So that's okay. We'll use the time gaps, mate, and we'll run through a few of those after we've done this thing at 7:25. So stick around for that. But at the moment, we're, of course, with B grade. We've got M. Cole at the moment out of Wolf Racing. We've got Oliver in there with him, A. Small, Judson, Toshi in there, Bayless, Curry, Fretty, and a whole, but this is to name out of there's 123 riders in B grade tonight. So they're going to be absolutely motoring around. Maybe we can get a couple of the time gaps from D, C, B, and A grade.
This is where I always struggle, Tim. But there it is there, right in front of my eyes. That's it, right. So A grade has taken 1 minute out of the D grade, front of D grade group so far. And they're 3 minutes. Sorry, so let's start with D grade. They are 3 minutes and 5 seconds ahead of C grade. Now, we're just going to ignore that one rider. He's got an ETA of 15 minutes in the B grade group, so he might be on a flyer. And then the A grade guys are still 9 minutes off the front of this race, but they will be absolutely flying. And Jeff Creel will be typing his way furiously on that keyboard, keeping this group together. And it looks like whoever's leading this B grade charge is doing a perfect job.
Yeah, really, really good job. And in speaking of perfect job, so if you didn't see it in the news, it was in all newspapers around Australia, mainstream media during the week, that the great Tim Searle about a week ago just clicked over 100,000 miles.
My car hasn't
which by
even
my
gone
calculation is 160,000 kilometres, Greg.
Well done, Tim. You went to private school, that's for sure. Kappa would have taken a calculator to work that out. So let's have a look. Let's have a look and see what you've got. You guys have been working very hard.
It's all about the community. This is what it's all about. And Timmy, mate, this one is for you.
Hey Tim, it's Cam Napper. I just wanted to say huge congratulations on reaching a 100,000 mile milestone on Zwift. Massive effort, well done. It's been a pleasure to have shared at least a few of those miles with you. Right on, mate.
Hey Tim, congratulations on your new milestone. Amazing. 100 miles. Congratulations, mate. Cheers for everything you do for Zwift and AHDR. You're an inspiration.
Tim, congratulations on the 100,000 miles. Massive achievement, well done.
Hey Tim, congratulations on reaching your 100,000 miles. Yay!
Hey Tim, congratulations on a truly epic milestone. Should that be 100,000 milestones? And by my calculations, that's 4 times around the planet and a little bit more. Actually, I got that off Google. You're an absolute inspiration, a true leader, and a proper legend. Can't wait to see what's next. Right on.
Hey Tim, it's David from Norwich. It's great to have the chance to say well done to you for your amazing achievement on Zwift. 100,000 miles, that's incredible. I'd also like to say a big thank you though for all the hard work you put in for the Zwift community as a whole. I've been riding the HDR now for a couple of years. I've met some lovely people, had a great time. Without your hard work, that would have been possible, so thank you. Here's the next 100,000 miles. I'll catch you soon. Cheers.
Good work, Mr. Bacon!
Hi, Tim. Congratulations. 100,000 miles on Zwift. Great job. Thank you.
Hey there, Daniel Verdi from AHDR. Congratulations, Tim Searle, on your 100,000 miles. Keep it up, mate.
G'day Tim, Dwayne here. Congratulations on your 100,000 miles. That should be 160,000 kilometres on Zwift. Fantastic effort, man. Very impressive. Enjoy it, make the most of it, and look forward to seeing what your next crazy goal is. Cheers.
Hey Tim, it's Rylan here. Congratulations for completing 100,000 miles on Zwift. Good job.
Hey Tim, congratulations on 100,000 miles on Zwift. Keep doing great things. Peace out, Zwift Kid.
G'day Tim, Andy Turnbull here from Perth. Wishing you all the best on your milestone, 100,000 miles, 160,000 kilometres, equivalent to, I think your elevation was 113 times up Everest and over 4 times the circumference of the globe, all without a single puncture. I'd like to know your secret behind saddle sores and what chamois cream you're using, mate, to be honest with you. All the best for the future. Keep riding. Thanks, mate.
Hey, Tim. It's Pete George just saying congratulations on 100,000 miles. It's an insane number. You're a legend. Thank you for everything you do for the Zwift community. Cheers, mate.
Now, before we go all Australian, Tim and Kappa, and give Surly Chops a bit of a spray, that's bloody unbelievable. 100,000 miles on Zwift. 160,000 Ks. Holy shit.
I'll give you the tip, Greg. You'll never be that popular.
No way. No way. Now talk me through this. We had to cull a few videos?
Well, no, we didn't have to cull. So
someone else did the culling.
We had a bunch sent through, and Brooksy said, "Look, don't worry about it. Don't play these ones. They're no good." No, we got
inundated.
So many videos that quite literally we probably would have missed the whole race. So if you didn't make it, apologies. But what you should do is just put it on Instagram and tag him.
There you go.
And let
Pretty
him see
easy.
it. So we tried to fit as many as you can.
Tag Colour Sports along the way as well. We'll share a few out as well.
Super effort. So I told you Surly would cry.
What?
I reckon he's a crier.
He's
a crier. He's choked
up.
up. He's speechless. All good, mate. Thank you. And obviously, mate, thanks for the opportunity to be involved in your great race. So really good stuff, mate. So let's get back to the action. Enough about you, mate. So, okay, so here we go. B grade just winding their way around here on the Richmond Flats. And so nice little sprint comp. So plenty of power-ups tonight, Greg.
Heaps of this.
Plenty of power-ups.
Plenty of opportunity. And how many feather power-ups do you start the race with, Tim?
How many feather power-ups?
Yeah, do you start with? 6. Okay, so there's a bit of a
feathers,
joke.
6
Anyway,
feathers.
when you have to, I explained this to Kappa through the week, and if you have a joke and you make a joke and you have to explain it before people actually understand what it is, it's not a good joke.
I wasn't explaining the joke, though. You just didn't get it.
We'll leave that there, and we'll talk about that on the podcast, I reckon, next week on the 5th of June, I think it was, or maybe I made that date up as well. But we will have another Colour Sports podcast dropping your way, and back by popular demand, no guess. We're just going to talk about us for about 3 hours.
It's been too long. We'll get the band back together. We're getting the band is coming back.
So, back to the racing. We're here to tell everyone about what's happening here. Now, if you're watching for the first time, which I'm sure, judging by the numbers, there's a lot of people that are. So top left-hand corner of the screen, you'll see the watts that the rider is currently doing. We're following Gigante at the moment, and 88 RPM is his or her cadence. And then
I like that surname.
Giante.
Yeah, it's great.
Gigante. There you go. And you've just thrown me right off. White box in the top there, 48 Ks an hour. And we did check in with Jeffro pre-race. He said the A grade's going to ride at 51, and they're starting to take some ground off here. And 10.7 Ks covered so far. So chomping through this course very quickly, and only 24 metres of elevation. That's the blue number there at the top. 13 minutes and 45, 6, 7 seconds counting down on the top right corner. Tim, what is in that box?
Well, you won't see that number change much, that is for sure. So top right there, you've got a little bit of terrain going on. It's a very flat course, let's be honest. It's a very flat course. It's all about speed. As we spoke about there, Jeff, pre-race, it's pretty much all about average speed and them just trying to work their way around the course and work together as a group. So and they're doing a pretty good job at the moment. So we've got 14 riders out in front at the moment in D grade. We're, of course, watching B grade. We were intending to watch C grade, but we had a little bit of a hiccup.
John Smith, who was our rider we were going to follow there in C grade, decided not to push the pedal on us. So probably someone that Tim or Cap has upset in the past. So Not too sure. Tim's standing here right now counting on his little digits, trying to work
So-
out. I'm glad it's not over 10. That's all I can say. Glad it's not over 10.
I'm doing maths, Greg. A grade doing really, really well, I can see here. So A grade are about 4.5 minutes back off C grade at the moment. And they're only about 2 minutes 20 behind B grade. So it's a handicap style race. Still a lot of work to do, but still a lot of road, Greg, in front of them.
Absolutely.
And I'm also excited, Greg, about our Coa Sports League race coming up pretty shortly, starting in 12.5 minutes' time. That's okay, Kappa. And what I like about that, I don't know about you, but Sand and Sequoia
It's
just
my
feels like
favourite.
home. It feels like home because what I like about it, you get a good squiz at Nathan Carrera's house that they put in there.
The dinosaur,
you get the dodgy
you got Clive Palmer.
Clive Palmer's dinosaurs. Jesus,
You have to duck your head under the tree.
Yeah, all these things that we know and love, and we love that attack up the Titans Grove Comp. So that'll be coming your way. We'll, of course, try to catch the end of the chop, which we will do, and, of course, we won't have this trouble next week when we've got a nice little gap in the high diddle-diddle.
Absolutely. High diddle-diddle. Now, speaking of high diddle-diddles, in Australia tonight,
Yes.
we have the NRL kicking off once again. The NRL in Australia, the National Rugby League, Tim and Kappa's favourite sports ever, and they will be watching in awe of the great mighty Parramatta Eels that are winning the competition at the moment, taking on the Broncos. They knocked them over 56 blot last time round. So, sorry guys, just give me a sec. They've just both gone to sleep. So
You're still talking?
They're giving me nothing. They're giving me absolutely nothing.
Just-
So go the mighty Eels. I've been to 2 grand finals. They've been absolutely hammered. And like you, Tim, it took 30 years for you to see one of those wins. I still haven't seen one.
No, it's okay,
So
mate. It's just about the world's worst sport.
It'll
come
around
it's
soon.
a very, very
now
close.
back to this Facebook comment stuff. Just quickly before we jump over and check out what's happening.
Yeah,
Coa
let's do
Sports
it.
League. I've got
there you go. Sarah Gigante is through Brunswick Cycles, a pro rider.
There you
of
go.
course, we know that, Greg.
We
We
knew
know
that.
our pro riders.
Knew that.
We study pro riders closely. Greg, that's what you do every morning.
Absolutely. Speaking of one man who has dialed in to join us, who does study pro riders all around the world,
he's
the voice of cycling and the man on the back of Tim
I love his
Valentine's
voice.
toilet door, the great Matthew Keenan is watching along. So
Ah.
shout out to Matty, and caught up with him a couple of times at Noosa Try, and then he doesn't remember who we are, but that's okay. And then down at the TDU, and definitely you've got one of your biggest fanboys in the world of cycling standing
It's
next
just
to me.
the voice, mate.
There you
it's
go.
just the voice. It's just the voice. Anyway, yep, lots to learn there. So, of course, jump across in a second now. I reckon it's not a bad time here to have a look at some of the rider cards for the league race coming up in about 10 minutes' time, because things are going to heat up here in the chop. So we'll make sure that we obviously grab that action. We'll get our heads around exactly what the time gaps are. But check out this wonderful pre-recorded
Head wobble.
rider card for the Coa Sports League.
And over to the Coa Sports League verified race, and a couple of athletes to highlight this evening are, first up in the A-grade group, Rylan Mosby, definitely a regular now within the Coa Sports verified league is Rylan, often finishing in that top 10, hails out of Melbourne, Victoria, and often races, when we get back to racing as well, I'm sure he will be, with the Coburg Cycling Club Crit Series, which is one of the ultimate crit series in Australia on the road. So looking forward to seeing get back out on the road as well. Top 10 last week in the Coa Sports League. As I said, past 6 months, he has figured in most of the KSL races. So really looking forward to seeing him smash it around this Sand and Sequoias course. He'll certainly remain with the group through Titans Grove, and I look forward to seeing him right at the front of that pack when they hit that 500 metre to go banner. Hopefully you got the right power up. So good luck to Rylan. And the second athlete we're going to highlight is a young lady who is joining us week in, week out now in the Coa Sports League verified race, is Jess Hamilton. She's taken the chockies a couple of times in her grade, and I would expect nothing less this evening as well. Hails out of New Zealand, very experienced Swift racer, 412 races, if you don't mind. And last 10 starts, picked up the chocolates twice. Watch for her. She's actually, we'll go back a second, she's the director of the Bolt Racing team as well. So she's very, very involved with this Swift community. Small climb tonight. Watch her on the long run into the finish. When it flattens out, Jess will be right at the front of that sprint section all the way through on that Sand and Sequoias course. So good luck to Jess and to Rylan. Have a great race. Now, let's get that lighting right on that pre-record. Look at this beautiful thing here. We're going to get that lighting right next week, so it doesn't look like I've been living in Antarctica for 700 months. But back to the B-grade group here and some of the big heavy hitters. And, Tim, give us an update on what is happening with the time gaps.
The good thing about this, so in fairness to us, of course, Zwift Power Live, if you are looking at that, it's actually the wrong course to what they're actually on. But the dots are correct. So we're going to use all our Zwifty experience here to try and actually decipher the Da Vinci Code and work out exactly. But at the moment, essentially, we've got 2-minute gaps. Is that about right?
Yeah, spot on.
Give or take a few seconds here and there. We're not about exact science here.
We're all about having a good time.
Of course, we're about exact science with Colour Sports Coaching, Greg. But when it comes to broadcasting, we're a little bit ad-lib. And speaking of broadcasting and running the production, Kappa, mate, how are you going, buddy?
I'm fine, mate. Now that the little hiccup at the start's done, it's clean sailing.
You were a man under a huge amount of pressure, but came through the other side with flying colours like you always do, Kappa. So we were able to watch 2 events.
We should try and bring Jay Creel, mate, in the bottom left at some point. Don't forget about Creel. We're just leaving him out there to flap in the breeze on the vine. And he just grabbed our comment, by the way, and just put that through on the group on Thingo. So that means the great thing is he's been hearing us.
Someone's watching.
Oh,
I hope he wasn't.
There he is. Look at him
there
go.
he's pushing. He's having a quick rest now. But I hope he wasn't listening earlier when you were saying all these bad things about South Africans and all this sort of stuff, Tim.
No.
Beautiful people coming from the west of Australia, and great to see Jeffy in there smashing it out. He will be leading those guys and girls right along to catch down and run everyone down.
Yep. Fairly solid overlap here with the league race tonight. So, of course, we'll have the pleasure next week of not having so much of an overlap, which will be great to see. And how do they not know?
Thanks, Luke. Thanks for the comment, Luke Potter. Shout out to Luke. We are very heavily involved and invested in the triathlon community and learning week in, week out about some of the amazing cyclists out there. And good to see this B-grade bunch absolutely flying through. But good to see you watching out there, Luke. And we will get better and better every week. And the Japanese right at the back of that group, T February, that's an interesting name. So Luke, if you know who T February is, if they're a rider out there, let us know.
How good. There's Jeff. Look at him working hard. It's great to bring that in there because it brings the avatars to life. And of course, very, very common in broadcast now to try and bring these avatars to life to actually basically prove that these are human beings sending it to the wall, so to speak, and doing their very, very best. So we'll keep going along here. A lot of power-ups being played. They're working their way through here to one of the C-grade groups here, B-grade. They'll work through and they'll merge as one big blob as they work their way, of course, around here on the Richmond Flat course. Here they go. They're all going to come together, and 5 minutes to go there till the Colour Sports League race, and isn't that absolutely heating up? It's, of course, the last week of the month of May in terms of racing, so we have some stacked leaderboards and categories and all sorts. We've got 3 teams at the top with 3 points separating. We've got, of course, the Bolt Race team. We've got Team ZF and the great meat bags and toothpicks.
Now, I just want to come back here for a second because I've just done a little bit more work on Sarah Gigante as we've gone around. And
gotcha. Potter's a ripper.
Yeah, we like Potter. So, so a little bit more about Sarah. And this is more of another fact outside of cycling, right? And this will trump all of us.
Yep.
She finished her HSC not too long ago and achieved an ATAR of 99.95.
What?
So if the cycling doesn't go too well for Sarah, guess what? She's going to be a doctor.
Unbelievable.
So you better be nice and work out what's going on there. So, yeah, good shout out to Sarah. Keep absolutely smashing it out in there as well.
We're into A-grade, Greg. We're into A-grade right now, so we're going to try and watch A-grade as they work their way around here and fly around here on the Richmond course. And we'll fly this drone a little bit better because what happened pre-race, Greg?
That was very funny. Let's go through.
What did I say to Kappa?
Let's go through this. So one of my favourite things, and a comment that I've probably stolen from Tim over the years, is that it's just too hard. It's too hard. So Tim was getting a lesson in how to fly the chopper, which Kappa's doing a great job of at the moment. And he said, push this button, push that button. It's not that hard. And Tim went, it's all too hard. Kappa, you keep doing it because you're great at it.
He's really good at it. So we'll try and come back, Greg, to let's go on Zwift Power Live, bring up some of these time gaps, because I get the sense that they are absolutely starting to close down this gap. We're starting to pick up, obviously, some other riders that have fallen off the back, some of those earlier categories, but let's make sure they finish the job, because we're all about completion rates as well. We like to see if you start something, you've got to go and finish the job. We're all about that. So not long to go, of course, until the league race start as well. So we'll make sure we catch that. We'll jump back and forth a little bit between the two, because they've actually still got a ways to go here in the chop. They've still got a bit over probably 22 minutes to go. We think 23 minutes to go, so plenty of time there.
Yeah, we've got an ETA on the chop of every grade finishing within 30 seconds of each other. So that's always great to call when there's 400 riders hitting the line together. So we're looking at...
You did a good job last week,
A-grade... yeah, did I? I forget. It was a week ago.
No, you did.
A-grade 45.07. So at the moment we're at 22.07. So just on halfway through this event. And then we've got B grade 45.20, C grade 45.06. So they're looking right now in second place. And D grade, a group of 11 riders in D grade still holding off the front. They're looking at an ETA 44.22. So they are looking to take the chockies right now.
You notice all there's a thing with A grade as well, and B to an extent is big group, like lots of riders in the group. So they're able to stay together, and this great man here, Jeffrey Creel, there out of the saddle, absolutely pushing it. He's got the jersey open, he's got looking really good. He's got the green screen there and a little smile by the old Jeffy boy. So we'll definitely keep bringing him in. Now, we always like to tip a winner, and we always get it wrong.
We're
so
following
in
Nick
the
White
comments,
at the moment.
if you are watching, throw your hat in the ring and pick not so much someone, but pick a category.
No. A category and a name. A category and a name. We want both. So if you are out there, let's make it a little bit harder on these people.
I tell you what.
Like tossing coins.
If you're on Koa or ZCL right now, and you pick the category and the name, and they get the job done, I'll give you 90 days free Zwift.
There you go. It's
How's
worth
that
400 Australian dollars right now with the way. Actually, we've come back a little bit this week. There's been a bit of a fight on in Australia.
There you go.
The dollar's come back for everyone in finance out there. And a shout out to the great man in finance, Mr. Ciano, the Zwift kid, who works for the Commonwealth Bank, of course, Tim.
He will be there, indeed. He will be there. So if you get that right, if you pick the category and the name, I'll just throw that in there.
There you go.
There you go, on the house, on Koa Sports, and that can come off your salary.
If your name's Tim Searle, you cannot enter. There you go.
Oh, no, he's allowed
Surly
to.
Chops?
It's 100,000 miles. He's allowed to. You can have two guesses.
Do you reckon Surly Chops pays for his Zwift every month?
Yeah,
what
definitely.
do you reckon? Double? Pay double?
He would definitely. And and he'd do that, you know how they, in Australia, how we've got the US dollar thing going.
Yeah,
and
he'd be fishing around month to month and
so
working out what's going on.
That's all right.
Right, shout out to everyone watching along on Facebook. Huge amount of people there tuning in, and everyone watching over on Training Peaks Live, which is not a new partner. They're new to the broadcast, been with us for many years now, and also everyone watching away there on the Cycling Australia Facebook page as well. As Jeff Rowe just sits up, wipes the brow, have a quick sip of water, young man, and put your head down again.
Yeah, I just realised also just some T's and C's. If you get two of the same guesses, it's whoever did it first. It's whoever did it first.
Tim's just got a text through from his wife saying, "Hang on a second, T's and C's. What's going on here?"
Good.
So
I'm no good at
so
T's
keep
and
those.
C's.
We've already got a few through now, so keep them coming through as we're just going to pop across and have a look at the start of the Koa Sports race, and we are on our favourite course out there on the Koa Sports. The Koa Sports League verified race, the Sand and. Tim, the Sand and
Sequoia.
Thank you, Ryan Rosselli, for correcting us every week.
Sand and Sequoia, and there are points on the line. Believe you me, there are absolutely points on the line. So probably a good time to actually get a little bit of an update of the Koa Sports League leaderboard, because believe you me, it is absolutely on. There's points up for grabs. And, of course, let's go have a quick squiz at that. We'll come back to the league and then wrap it up with some of the chop, and then back to the league and back to the chop. And you get that, Greg?
And we'll be right.
Alrighty, let's go have a look at, this is the final round for the Mayhem, the month of Mayhem. And things are really interesting a lot across quite a few categories here. And we'll start with men's A grade. We've got R. Britton there leading the way with 10 points. El Messineo, 7 points, and Ollie Jones, who's doing some damage in the SRAM Senate Series too, on 5 points, and right the way down there, all through to 1 point, you can catch on the website. In B grade, we've got D Wells there with what it would seem to be an insurmountable lead, but could be tied. 13 points down to S Tyrrell, 7 points, and Ryan Rosselli, 6 points. In C grade, job done there by G Delport, but will he put another nail in the coffin tonight? P. Milan, 5 points, and H. Wright, 5 points. And then you can see down there, Pearson Ramirez and Moore, all in the running there to get on the podium. So that'll be pretty interesting also. In D grade, we've got Charlie, I'm just going to call him Charlie. He's got 9 points on top there, tied for McElroy on 9 points, and P. Doyle on 5 points. So that one is absolutely wide open. Over to the women, we've got Georgia Mian-Saro in A grade, leading the way on 10 points. S. Corset, 8 points, and K. Sheehan, 8 points. So wide open there again. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of movement we get if Georgia chooses to race this week. That is the question. In B grade, we've got, of course, Jess Hamilton leading the way, 13 points from E. Smith, 8 points, and Kate Spicer, 7 points. Right down through there, open again. In C grade, Tanya Gabby, 5 points, tied with Selena Green, 5 points, and E. Morgan Thomas, tied for 5 points. So absolutely wide open there. C grade for the women. And D grade, D Cameron, 9 points, J Lee, 6 points, and Annabelle Roberts and L Walker tied for 6 points apiece in the women's D grade. Over in the teams, my goodness gracious me, it is a logjam at the top between essentially 3 teams. We've got BRT, 28 points, who took the lead off Team ZF last week. And Team ZF there, 27 points. Meatbags and Toothpicks hanging in strong there on 26 points. Right the way down there, 16, 12 and 12, we've got the Triads, Canyons ECC, Poms and Pipes, and Kent's Kids, if you don't mind, umpire. But yep, up the top there, the top 3, that is going to be on like Donkey Kong. Indeed, Tim. Indeed, Tim. I'll throw back to myself. Have you ever done that before? Have you ever thrown to yourself?
Well, you put on a different voice. I do a few different accents. So you want me to start now?
Just
do you want me to start?
Do you know what? So we got some shifts going on. So
Mr. Tim.
Okay, that we might want to just stop right there because we want to be held on Facebook, mate. We don't want to be switched off. I just want to say, Kappa, you do an unbelievable job at pulling this production together, and particularly the cuts there, the Searle video, the cut, mate. You work so hard, and I'm going to say it now with a good audience right now that Kent Cross, you are a bloody star and not a bad coach to boot as well. But anyway. Kappa, put your head back on.
Can you give him a right of reply?
Do you know what the good? So we're of course here on the Sanders Sequoias course with the Colour Sports League race at the moment. We've got very familiar names in there, and of course we're on the flats section here of the course. As we wind our way through, we'll get a nice little squeeze at Nathan Guerra's house. But some of the names we know and love really, really well. But we've got a bit of a shift in schedule coming up on some of the league races. You'll get an email if you're one of the 1,600 Colour Sports League members or about 800 verified riders. You'll get an email from my good self tomorrow with a little bit of a changing there. So we're shifting a few races, but there will be a Wednesday 7 p.m. option for our Colour Sports athletes that we coach. They're going to get a couple of lockout races. So if you want to be involved in that, you just got to be coached by us. And of course, we've got some special events as well with some of the states. We've got some of the teams getting involved. So a bit of a lockout style event there. We're of course moving this race back to an 8 p.m. start, so we get much less of an overlap here, which we're tending to get. So Shirley, you just need to shorten up your end, mate, and we'll be all hunky-dory. No, of course, we wouldn't ask you to do that. We've of course got our workouts in our community race on a Friday at 9 a.m, Greg. Yep. What is going on in the Chop, Kappa? Let's go back to the Chop and
have a quick squizzy
and check it out, because these guys are going to roll around here for at least another 8 minutes before they get to Titans Grove.
Yeah, so in the Chop, we just to give a quick update, we've still got like a few grades that are going to be stuck together, so it's always interesting to see this time of the race. So they're well over that 22-kilometre mark now, 25k for A grade, so they're going to come up real tight. And I don't know why you whack me on the back, Tim, but
checking your kidneys.
The kidneys are good this week.
How are the kidneys? I've got a few comments here about the kidneys.
Really? Yep. No, the kidneys are good. I've down the coffee intake, up the water, and we're all good to go.
He actually believed, Kappa, that people cared about him. I just made that up, mate. No one cares about you.
I just got excited for a minute.
If you care about Greg, put a comment in there, because his lip just dropped.
So the rider we are following here, which is Nick White, and yes, we do know that Nick is a professional cyclist.
Team Aero, Tully Lester.
Team Aero, and he has been tipped on numerous occasions already. So if you're tipping Nick White, forget it. You're not going to win the chocolate, so you might as well go for a smoky.
Dalton Stratton's in there.
There is a very famous famous name in that group there again, Tim. We've highlighted him before, but Drew Ginn is right in the middle of that A-grade group, and he is part of the Goulburn Valley Awesome Foursome. So if you grew up in Australia in the 90s, and Kappa, you weren't available until 2003, you would know that Drew Ginn and a host of other athletes, names of Nick Green and Jimmy James Tompkins, were highlighted in that very famous ad going around.
I'm going to block someone on a guess here because I do like the look of Dalton Stretton. He is an absolute jet, and he is just looking beautiful in this front back. And I think did we see O Jones in there as well? So got some serious form, O Jones at the moment, of course, doing wonderfully well in the SRAM Send It series. And we've got half an eye on a couple of races here. Won't it be nice when we can just sit back on the smoke the pipe next week, where we don't have to worry about calling 2 races at once? Has anyone ever pulled off such a situation as we've done for the last 6 weeks?
While we're saying has anyone ever, so this is going to open up, this change in structure is going to open this right up for someone to come along and win both races. So you don't no longer have to warm up in the chop and come across to the KSL verified race. This will be on next week. You will certainly be able to jump across and race both events. And to anyone that can handle that, well, hats off, because that will be an unbelievable feat. 2 of the hardest events on Zwift, particularly in this part of the world at the moment.
Yeah, well, definitely. Looks like we're probably going to stay with the chop here through to the finish, Greg. They're really starting to get to the pointy end, and of course the league race at the moment, they're coming towards the back section of the Sands part of the circuit. Yeah, but things will really start to heat up, of course, as they go up that Titans Grove comm, and of course Ryan Britton there in that front group looking to lay down the hammer in men's A-grade. We obviously caught that leaderboard earlier.
Yeah, just to jump in there quickly, we're not looking at it at the moment, but in the KSL race, we have got a host of athletes and regular names in that front group. Plenty of Team Relentless in there. Brandon Geriel, Cole Sports athlete. Ryan Rosselli in there too. And Kappa, you wanted to give a little shout-out to Mr. Rosselli this evening. Is that correct?
That's right. I was just going to say that his mum, Ali, is watching, so I'm sure he's going to be pumping it even harder to impress.
Did you put Crilly bottom left there where he's typing? How good's that? Like, I like that. Like, how... I don't know how he does it with sweaty fingers.
He's ordering Uber Eats. Yeah, he's ordering Uber Eats because he's going to need 4 pizzas after this. He's just given us the slash across the neck. He may be cooked, guys. He might...
no, he's not.
He might be cooked. Jeff, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down there, mate. So,
he's cooked.
Yeah, he done. He out. He's ordering his pizza. Mate, you've done a bloody awesome effort. Go and crack a couple of tinnies, mate, and enjoy that Swan Lager.
Thanks for doing the pre-show. That's for sure. We really, really appreciate that, mate. So anyway, we'll take you away. So here they go here. A-grade, we're just E-dead. So Dalton Stretton here, just sitting beautifully in A-grade. They're working way. We can see the big peloton up ahead. It looks like they're about to close down that of a bit of mixture of B and C.
That's not the main B group there. Sorry, the group. That is certainly a straggling group. But a lot of these riders will join that. Well, that's the truth.
They're human beings.
That's the truth.
They're human beings, Greg. They're not stragglers. You're a straggler. You're not even doing it.
No, I'd be straggling out the back of C grade. The rate these guys are going around. So now, speaking of which, I'll be straggling around tomorrow on my new BMC. Thank you to Chris Piper and the team at BMC.
Yeah, what did I write back? What COVID? But A-grade, so 114 back now off D-grade. They're about to wind their way through here. So the main group of B-grade as well, they're coming through, and only, of course, about 52 seconds back now of C-grade. So here we've just got a nice little update there on Zwift Power Live. We're going to have a massive, massive group. It looks like A-grade's going to get the chockies tonight.
Yeah, we've picked the right group again. A-grade. They've ridden out. So they've busted the A-grade group with a lot of professional athletes in there, has busted the ride leader, Jeff. So he's let him out and done his bit for the team, and now he will watch one of those A-grade guys, and we're with Dalton Stretton at the moment. Your tip, Tim, and we've got Nick White still in that group as well. Drew Ginn still hanging in there. We've got Mulligan in there. D. Luke and a heap of other riders. And that pack, I'm just having one eye over Tim and Kappa on the Coal Sports race, and they have just gone past the petrol station, and things will start to heat up in that event very shortly with a group of about 50 in that front group.
And just past Go Park Nathan Guerrero's house. Guerrero, can you please put a towel on, mate? We can see it all. We can see it all. Put a towel on, son. Put a towel on.
That'd be like your house. People can look up from the bottom of the hill and see what you're doing on the top.
You're more this Richmond circuit, actually, this more sort of, boring style housing.
That's
more your style.
That's where I belong. So, definitely my part of the town down the bottom of the hill. So here we go.
Look at it all come back together, Greg. This is a massive pack now.
Huge.
Will they mow down D-grade in
Absolutely.
time?
100% they will.
That is the question, Greg. Well, we don't know that for sure because the key of broadcasting is you keep people wondering, Greg, whether it's going to happen. All those broadcast courses that we've done together.
Well, last week's one was amazing.
You don't want to reveal the obvious outcome?
Now, if you ever come up to the Sunshine Coast, everyone, and you ever find the little sushi shop up there in Coolum Beach, and you pop your head out to the Coal Sports boardroom out the back, that's where you'll find us doing some of our best work.
Matty
a bit of wasabi.
If you're still watching, Greg's number 0425. Give him a bell and give him some advice because he needs plenty and he loves advice. So here they are. They're definitely gonna get them, Greg. So we'll get our winner here from A grade. So
you've jumped onto my train now. That's great, isn't it? Give me a kick and then he jumps on board.
It's like when we go for a ride, mate. I love sitting behind you.
Reversed. He's good. I'm a good wheel to sit on going downhill at about 1%. Perfect.
Yeah, it is good.
With
actually.
a tailwind.
It is really, really good. So we've got
Stefan
plenty of people.
Kirchmeier in that front group too. He's an absolute beast. So watch him in that front sprint as well. And a couple of WP Taz guys in there. And one of the people we don't see too often out there is one of the WP Taz guys, old Solzy Berger. I haven't seen him in a race for a while. So shout out to him. Need to get out and dust the wheels off Wesy. So,
yeah, he does. He does. He definitely does. Did you see? I saw a post during the week. Carly Taylor has the QOM of Wollonga Hill.
Correct. 100%. Yep.
Respect.
Oh,
mate, she's a beast.
No, we don't need to be told by our good friend that Carly was an amazing cyclist in a day.
It wasn't. I just saw the photo.
One amazing thing that we learnt last year, Tim, when we went for a little spin with Carly and a few other guys before the Noosa try, was that once a pro, always a pro. So she's tapping it out at about 110 beats a minute. Your heart rate was 165.
I was struggling.
But it's always good to ride with a couple of pros every now and then to give you a good kick and let you know exactly where you fit into the world.
Hopeless I am. So here they come. They're definitely closing towards the final section here of the chop race. We're trying to get a bit of a distance here on Zwift Power Live. Who knows what is going on here? But Dalton Stretton we're with at the moment, and things will really start to crank up. So, of course, remember, top left there, you've got the live data of the rider that we're watching.
Okay, so A grade now only 14 seconds behind D grade in the chop. So they haven't got too far to go here, but you'll see them up the road and they'll chase down those bickies and have them like a Pac-Man for dinner. So they won't be too far off, causing a little bit of windburn as they go through that D-grade bunch.
Just going to get them here. 14 seconds off. Jay Creel puts the comment through, so it looks like the job is going to get done there. But they're on the long straight here, and things are going to really start to heat up as we see Dalton Stretton in there, of course, just easing back the watts. We saw him touch 500. He's back to 500 there. Heavy, big gear. Must be 72 RPM and 173 beats per minute. We'd like to see that change a little bit higher. Thanks, Dalton. Put a little bit more effort in, son. And rolling through to the front there. So Kirkmeyer in there in that front group. We got Saunders, Z, Yama, Krutner, Stilling, Luxton, and I'm just going to go through some of those names as Cap is going to do his very best to click on through. Wouldn't it be great to have dev access on a race like this where we can just go to the front of the race? That would be superb.
Great to see Sarah Gigante still well in that front group. So she started with B grade. She's right in the heart of that main pack, and she will be fighting it out for the win here. So great to see. And Sterney from the... There's a lot of B grade riders that have been able to hitch on here. So really good bunch of A and B grade spread as they just pick up a few more in front of them as they come through, and they won't have too far to go here. They have just about reeled everyone in now.
They have.
These will be lapped riders, actually. Sorry.
Yeah, they certainly are. So, of course, Giganta have followed her career very, very closely, know all about her. So here in that front pack at the moment, Dalton Stretton we're watching at the moment. We're choosing to follow him as we click through here. Coming up towards the finish line, we're going to see some very, very big numbers here. Look for the top left as we come towards the end, and this big sprint finish just doing 53 kilometres an hour. If you don't mind, C. Sayers there up the front. Jury Ginn there, just leading the charge, putting his nose to the breeze. Jenna Hoffman and Lindsay in there. Jackson there at the Scottish flag, sitting back in the group. And there we've got Yuta just going from accent to accent. Got a little head bobble there. Greg, you call the finish, mate. You do it so well.
Yeah, so they're going to start winding this up now any minute. You've just thrown me off, but there you go. So, very big group here. Very big group here. They're going to take this left-hander here. Start to see some huge numbers here. Luke now coming through the front. Dalton pushing up to 182 beats a minute now. So 6.2 watts a kilo. Here goes
Saunders
the
up
attack.
inside.
We got Linda's, Sterling, and who have we got in front there? If we can just jump up to Team Spaghetti.
Benton.
Benton, off you go, Tim. Dalton Stretton it is now. We're just with Dalton following him along. And Lindsay in that front group. Here comes someone way out of the pack. Here goes Benton still off the front. Who we got there? It's the Spaghetti team coming through. I'm not too sure. It's always
Sayers, Luke. We've got
very
the whole lot.
A very tricky one when they are all in the same jersey. So shout out to all those athletes, and great to see A grade taking that extra minute out of the remainder of the pack, and I'm sure we'll get back to some results there soon. We're going to jump straight into this Coa Sports league race, the verified race, and watch these group of about 35 riders now as they roll through the jungle, come down to the finish line.
We're seeing the Coa Sports League live now, Kappa. On the broadcast, mate.
You are, mate.
Beautifully done. Beautifully done, mate. Just thought I'd ask you live. Now, the highlight for me there was my Scottish accent. If you like my Scottish accent. I tried to do it again. I just lost my lollies there. But, great race there by the Chop. Great to see. And big turnout. But here we go here. So we're here with the Coa Sports League race.
Perfect timing for the light up here.
Points are plenty up for grabs. So Jay Duke there of Team Relentless. We've got Dazzler Carter there sitting in the front group. Mind your head as you go under that rock, just in time for my gag, Greg. We got Spooner there at the back, and of course Jay Ricky, Jay Wilson, all those Relentless riders always putting in the big ones. Can we see Messineo there? I'm sure Messineo's there, tucked somewhere there in that front group.
There he is.
Failed to fire Messineo last week.
Yeah,
so I'm giving a clip to Messineo. Not good enough. Not good enough. Pete Donahue told me to say you need to lift. You need to lift your game.
Absolutely. And great Rusty Devlin in there, and Rusty just backed us up before, telling a few people where to go, so that was good. And here we go, Silver. These new guys coming out of Portugal, this Team PTZ, bunch of pros, and Team Relentless well represented in there. And a shout out to Ryland Mosby, who he highlighted pre-race. He is right in the middle of that pack and improving week in, week out in the Coa Sports League. So watch for him to figure in the finish. This is a huge effort here from Silver straight off the front. And we'll see how long that lasts. But good, he's stretched that front group out now. So, there's about 3 or 4 of them in that front group. So, Collar, Araldi, regulars now coming through this event every week in, week out. And Columbus, the only Columbus out of Ireland there, he is in that front group as well.
Yeah, certainly is. So
To be sure
indeed. So PTZ there, they will be really throwing down the challenge during June, of course, because we just keep on rolling with all our private events and races at the Coa Sports League. Yeah, we've got 4 a week and 4 events a week, so wouldn't you love that? So it's great to be involved. So PTZ here, Silver here, asks, it's the first time we've called him, and he is absolutely getting some telly time, as they say, off the front here. So beautifully led up here on the Titans Grove Com. Not far to go, but it is on like Donkey Kong when they come down the backside, Greg, because such is the quality of riders in this chase pack is that it's very hard to get away. And Silver here just dropping it back there, only 163 beats per minute. C-Hats comes and rolls on through. Dazzler Carter there rolls through. Hats trying to take this com here at the moment. He's asking the question, Hats. 600 watts, if you don't mind, and 187 beats per minute. He's going to roll on across the top here of the Titans Grove com, it would seem, and take the chockies just on this little intermediate hill. And they'll roll across down the other side.
Yeah, so 34 athletes in that front group still, and just to run through some of those names, we've got Araldi, Jason Avery from Perth still in that group, Tommy Morwood still in there, Ryan Rosselli, Devlin, Smith, Anthony, Duke, Ricky and Wilson, all out of Team Relentless. Wow, they've only got 7 in the front group, and make that 8. And Galambas and Wilson as well, representing Team Relentless. And this PTZ Pro Racing team have got 2 or 3 or 4 even in that front group. And good to see the big man, the meatbag himself, Wellesley, straight in that front group as well.
Some pretty interesting team points up for grabs, and it looks like we've got a culled field as well. So what we'll try and do is we'll call a couple of finishes if we can. We don't get punted from the game, of course. We'll try and call a cute. But if you want to be part of the league, you can join now. It's free. We've got races all year long, all series long, and lots of events, workouts, coasportsleague.com. Get involved. It is free. And this race you're watching right now live, if you are watching on Training Peaks, it's a verified race. And what we mean by that is that all these athletes are connected to us here at Coa Sports on Training Peaks, where we not only get a bit of a look at the racing data, but we get a bit of a squiz at the training data. We put all that together and we go, legit, not sure, yes, maybe, no. And I have noticed also that the DQ list is getting smaller and smaller. So
People
they're
are learning.
That's okay, and that's what we're all about in New Sport. So Mias and Neo, they're tucked in the back of the pack. They're looking good. A lot of feather power-ups being played.
This
Greg.
is the point to play your feather, because it flattens out when you get down the bottom of this hill. It does roll along through here, and you need to push over the top of the crest of these little hills. And here we go, a proper attack here from Ricky off the front, and right at the front, Ryan Britton, 5.6 watts a kilo. That heart rate's starting to climb, but he's a young man, so expect that to climb over 200, which we've seen before. And Robertson, Nielsen, Wilson. Oh, geez, there's 2 Wilsons in there tonight from Relentless, so that's going to make things interesting. Daz Carter still in that front group as well, and Anthony, and they will watch Ricky just roll up the road. Ricky rolls, is that right? And I did see in that front group the great driver himself, Kappa, Di Ricardo, nestled right in the middle of that front group. Oh. He's got a Brazilian flag, though.
Oh.
There he is, PTZ Pro.
There you go, indeed. So Silver here just rolling up on the back of Ricky. So we've got a bit of a chase pack here. They're all going to come back together, Greg. And things will start to get in when you can see those ancient ruins on the right-hand side, back on the sands, part of the circuit, of course. That is when it really starts to light up. You see those big aero power helmet. That's the one you want. This is your hardcore sprint finish. It's a very understated finish line.
Absolutely. And like some of the things to pick up here, green jersey, green Tron bike, green hat at the back. That's Ryland Mosby, so keep an eye out for him. And the white jersey with a bit of blue on the left-hand flank, if you don't mind, that is the Team Relentless guys, and they are right together. Over to you, Kappa.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, but are all these houses new? Because I have not seen them before.
No, they've been there.
They've been there. You just haven't been on Zwift.
Too deep in the pain cave.
Southeast Queensland, mate. It's Southeast Queensland. You're right outside. That's okay. That is okay.
And Hannay, young Hannay, who we highlighted pre-race in the chop, did half the chop, did his warm-up, jumped across. He's right in that front group as well. So watch for him out of the Isle of Man. And that is a very famous little place in the world for a sport close to your heart, Kappa, not so much to mine.
Yeah, I'd love to go and watch that.
One of the exciting things is, of course, some of the real-world events are just starting to trickle in. They're sort of getting inside that 12 to 16-week window, should they stay there. So a lot of these athletes now, certainly a lot of the athletes I coach here in this race as well, Greg, Kent, I'm sure you're the same, starting to use this race just to sort of sharpen up, do a little bit of FTP work. Certainly we'll roll on back. I know some of the riders back in the sort of C and D grade area as well. So it's all relative, of course, to the intensity factor. So whilst these guys, gents, are pushing it off the front here, it's all relative to FTP. And believe you me, it's absolutely on in the back end of the field as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So this front group's been thinned out to 26 riders, and people like Jason Avery, and I did notice another name in there, I can't quite, Alex Tolman possibly, and a couple of other guys. They're going to be sprinting it out for the win in that second pack sprint. But just a little bit more on this young man, Tyler Hannay, out of BRT, 16 years of age, unbelievable. So 65 kilos, and I'm not too sure. They've taken heights off Swift Power, so I can't quite check that anymore. But
it's irrelevant.
Future, it's irrelevant. Well, he might have fitted into my beanstalk category, Tim. So there you go. So good shout out there. Thanks, Mr. Galambos. That would probably indicate that he's no longer in that front group if he's flicking a few messages across.
He is in the front group, Greg. He
is.
He's just doing it easy, mate. He's just typing messages. He's just having a cup of tea. He'll be all good. So watch for him, but also Messineo Leo. He gets this sprint right. You're going to see some teamwork here. I reckon some relentless riders are going to roll on through here because this is where the strategy really comes in on this Sand and Sequoia circuit. We know it really well. You can see up there on the left-hand side, that's where they started. So they're about to lap this course and absolutely fire it up. I reckon you've gone early there, Kappa. I reckon
He's gone a little bit
early there on the
Just
final
building the
kilometre.
suspense.
But it's going to be, how about we say final mile?
Yeah,
we'll say
that'll
the
do us.
final mile to go. So we've got a little bit to go here, but we've definitely got a roller there off the front. They don't like this easy pace. We see this often, Greg, where that chase pack actually comes back.
Yes, they do.
How often we
Navel
see that
gazing.
on this course
Yeah.
where they're fighting for the back of the pack to get the right position and then slingshot around the outside.
He just got lost for words, but that's okay. That's why I'm here. So we've got one rider off the front here. Someone always goes too early in this race, and it's usually someone that doesn't hold an aero power up. So great to see Ryan Rosselli still well entrenched in that front group as well.
Cappy,
He's
you're doing
going
well.
better week in, week out, and a genuine beast now on Zwift, and often gets a little coffee delivered if we're doing a morning workout. So great to see Ryan. And Rusty Devlin, Dr. Rusty Devlin, still in that front group as well.
Such is the growth of this league. We've got some new names here in the front pack this week. T-Boy, I don't think I've called his name before. So big ride on Bomb being played there. Beautifully done. So Kay Smith there. So definitely some new names here, Greg. So it'd be good to see that. Some unpredictability here in this front group. Line out there, under 17, just sitting. But we haven't called Line out yet. Don't know much
And
about him. Probably
Britton
a pro rider that I know nothing about. But
Britton
that's my go. Mosby there, just controlling the pace off the front there. Daz Carter, look for him. Of course, BRT. He's got to get the chocolates. He's got to do the work, Daz Carter.
Do it for Jess.
Because you got
Do it
Team
for
ZF
Jess.
in there. You got Team ZF, and they are hot on the heels of BRT. Here come the closing stages of Mayhem, the month of May. We got points everywhere. We got prizes nowhere.
Jeez, you love that one. Sounds like something out of the Easter show with a bloke with no teeth trying to sell someone to throw some balls at some cans. Anyway, here we go. We've
front.
got Columbus now. He's lit it up. He's got a bit of airtime himself. Ryan Britton has not done a thing yet, so watch for him.
Top right.
190 beats a minute, and not too far to go. There we've got 750 watts now from Britain, so not too far to go here. These guys are going to light this up very shortly. So just to hold this group together now, you need to be pushing. Look at Britain's heart rate now, 193. So look at those sprint times on the left-hand side. They're going to get blown to pieces here. And Tim, over to you.
Yeah, Columbus there just controlling. So they're starting the sprint comp now. Here we go. Here comes the attack early by Seahats, 8.9 watts per kilo. And Wilson responds there. Britain goes 11.8 watts per kilo. Kappa's going to have to click through hard. Ricardo there, 12 watts per kilo, asking the question straight off the front. We got aero power helmets everywhere. Secordo, 16.5 watts per kilo. I don't know whether his avatar can hold it in. Ryan Britton at 16.6. Britton now coming on the outside. He's got the power up. Will Cordoro, it looks like Britton's going to get it, puts the head down, he's going to take A grade, and he's going to take the win, and just a late flash there by Ricky. Late flash by Ricky, but Britton gets it done again. Ryan Britton, he's going to claim A grade as well. Here comes another finish, Greg. It's good to call these. We've got a nice tight pack of group of three, then we've got a 23-24 second gap.
Let's just up to the Tolman group, Kappa.
Yeah.
Just a bit further down there with Kate Spicer in it. That's a good one.
A nice mix. We've got a mix of male and female riders in there. We've got Paul Mylan, Joel Murray, so we've got a lot of people here on the leaderboard, of course, in the individual and riding for teams. Kay Spicer in there, Alex Tolman, absolute ripper. Here we go, Greg. You can call this one, mate, but still a little bit to go. We're not through the ruins section. Is that Brando? Did I see Brando's name?
He might have got picked up.
We're following him,
Yeah, he got dropped. Brando got dropped a little bit early. His heart rate's clearly not working there, or his heart's not, one of the two. But Brando, very, very handy athlete, age group athlete in triathlon. So watch for him in this finish. Packs a huge sprint. He's got some huge quads. And Joel Murray in that front group as well. In this group as well. And a few Tron bikes hanging in there as we come through the ruins. Watch this get lit up. We're into that sprint section now. Under 30 seconds to go. So we've got Mylan coming through there. Donny the Ox in there. Nickel in there as well. Montgomery.
Nice mix.
Here goes Brando. Who's going to fire the first shot here? They're all sitting back and having a really good look. No power-ups being left yet. Kate Spice is still in there as well. I'm going to pick someone and roll with them. Come on, Brando, line it up for me. So 12 watts a kilo now. Mylan now comes straight to the front. Here comes Brando back to his wheel now. Brando coming up, 10 watts a kilo. Joel Murray there as well, hanging in there. Here comes someone straight through right over the top. That'll be Nickel coming straight through with Mylan, and Nickel will take that sprint just
I could have got him on the outside there.
He was coming in there. Let's go back and find one more,
it.
Kappa, or we're done. We're done. So are we going to have a quick look at that replay if we can? Britain?
Yeah, let's have a look at Britain.
He is getting very, very good week in, week out. Britain is someone 17 years of age. And look, someone always goes early. The Columbus it was this evening. He went real early. Britain's heart rate, as you called him through, Tim, hit 203.
There you go.
So
goes through
he's
that
an
climb.
Absolute beast.
The double-ton barrier.
So he's still,
barrier.
if we're just following, it's a great one
back.
to follow. 191 beats. He's just sitting in the group at 191, not pushing a whole lot of power.
Not even at the sprint com yet.
No,
so that's the key here, Greg, as well. Like you get that early attack. Columbus there asked the question early, but you can see that really on this course. So if you are racing, you get the lid up there. So the first real attack there, that was Hats there rolling off the front. If I've got that wrong, but here's the start of the sprint com. They come late and they come hard.
Yeah, they came through even that's a tiny fraction early. Britain's flared out about 5 seconds to go, so he timed it to perfection. 16 watts a kilo as he came up to
third.
Cadiro there is in third place. Ricardo now comes straight across him, and then he's got one more to catch.
He's on the green.
And there's Ricardo. He's got to roll straight across and absolutely smoked him.
Yep.
Sat up, waved to the crowd. And if you were in the line, Messineo was flashing there for second, maybe with Araldo, two country mates there. So not too sure what kits they were wearing. It would have been Messineo and the ZF kit. There you go.
Well, that's important. He's the captain of Team ZF,
Double
so
pointer.
that's going to be super, super interesting. Kappa, we're back. I might just move on over to the side here. So, of course, we're going to be live tomorrow morning at 9:45 Australian Eastern Standard Time. We've got our community race, of course, and then so next week we've got a bit of a juggle of the schedule, a few things, a few balls in the air. The audience is starting to go to sleep. There's the camera. It's not there. It's there. Greg, do you want to wrap it up? Because usually I just walk off now.
Let's wrap it up. Tim will take his headset off. He'll throw it off. He'll hang the call up. But thanks for joining us this evening, and we look forward to seeing you again on the Coles Sports Community Race tomorrow morning. See you then.